we were looking at what are ways for us to help the communities where we operate. And then we got introduced to an organization that is called Gift a Meal. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They're a
No.
technology platform, really basic. And basically, what they allow you to do is they have this partnership with all these thousands of local food banks all across America. So they come about really what's your local food bank next to your location. So if you want to make a donation, you can do it where it matters the most, which is in the trade area where you are. And so we partnered with them across all of our 39 locations, and then basically there is no cost for the guests. All they have to do is post a picture of the meal. So they're really helping heal hunger with a snap. They take a picture, they post it, we donate a meal. For every picture, we donate a meal, and pretty much one picture equals 1 pound of food. And then we're like, well, when are we doing this? And we were thinking about the holidays, and then we looked at some data with them, and they were like, well, everybody donates in the holidays. All of the food pantries get filled to through the roof with donations, and then they all get raided through the holidays, and then January hits and they're empty.
They're
So we're
empty.
like, do it for January and February. So in January and February, if you come to NAF and you take a picture of your food, and then you will scan a QR code to submit it. That's all you gotta do. For every picture you take and submit, we'll donate a pound of food to your local food bank.
And I
And
assume those pictures are posted on social or something.
they post it on the platform, and then obviously we receive those pictures, and then we have the right to repost them. But actually, if you post a picture, you send it to us, that works. But if you take that same picture and you share it on your own Instagram, on your own Facebook, for every platform that you share it, we'll donate an extra. So literally, you can come and have a delicious, chicken shawarma rice bowl, and you can donate 4 meals to someone in need in your local area. And then so far the results, this is just getting started. We started last week, press release hit today, and the media started kind of operating in that fashion. We wanted to do it because number one is the right thing to do. But number two is getting a lot of esteem. And the main reason is like, I don't know if you're aware, but people were already taking pictures of their food.
Right.
I didn't have to ask anyone to do that.
Right.
If your food looks great or is delicious, you're gonna take
Right.
a picture. Well, now it just
Right.
happens that if you take a picture and you tag us, you're donating to someone in need.
Love it.
So this will be kind of my thing. What we've been doing, kind of the trick in the magic hat, is for a brand like us, an emerging brand, new cuisine, new markets, many new locations. We don't have McDonald's. We're not a Starbucks, right? Like those guys have the money and the power to impact culture in a way that shapes consumer behavior, right? For us, I'd rather look at what are people already doing and try to come up with ideas where a brand can be part of that. And they don't have to be crazy, on the moment or whatever. Let's take a look at what's happening and things that they're already doing. And if we can meet them where they are versus trying to spend a gazillion dollars to try to convince them that they shouldn't do what they're already doing, but do what they need to do, that's not realistic for us. If we can meet them doing where they're doing, where they want to get us, how they're going to intersect with us, that's usually a win-win for us and for them.
That's awesome. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot here to unpack, but I really appreciate it. I think someone watching this, obviously a bigger brand, there's a lot to learn from here. But if you're a smaller brand, I think kind of what I heard here is this deep partnership with operations, um, which obviously everyone knows I wholeheartedly believe in. I'm an operator first, and while we all know we need marketing, I believe that if you're taking care of your guests and taking care of your food, and I think you use the word maniacal about like recipes and consistency and systems, that's how I am. I'm crazy. I'm at a restaurant today and I looked through the recipe book, and one of their recipes had 48 teaspoons. Now, no one in a kitchen is going to do that.
Yeah,
Now, then I
they're gonna
also found
grab the
out
thing,
that
a shaker, and they just shake it on top of it or do whatever. Yeah.
right, they're gonna guess, they're gonna like, but that 48 teaspoons mathematically could be converted whatever it is, a quarter cup. I'm making it up. But one, like, no, you can't expect consistency out of that. Two, I found out that that recipe is made in a 5 times batch. So really, are we expecting a team member to do 136 teaspoons or something like it's one thing to just check the box and say, oh, I have recipes. It's another thing to say our recipes are tested, work, We've rolled them out. We've tried them. I get complaints from people all the time that say they have consistency issues, even in one location. And then half the time when they send me the recipe, I'm a very well trained chef, 5-star hotels. I've cooked with the best. I couldn't even follow their recipes. Example, again, today, 32 ounces of shredded cheese. Was that weight or was that measure?
Mhm.
So I asked. He
Yeah,
said, one guy said weight, one guy said measure. So now we have two prep cooks who at different days make the same recipe, and they're both doing it different. But again, we checked the box of recipe. No, that's not just getting it.
yeah. I think if you take something from what I would say about that partner is, I think our role as part of the growth team, whether you're technology or marketing or training or whatever, right, or finance, uh, let's try to make it easy for the operators to execute. I think that has to be on your top three of operator list. You don't have to over obsess with that, because at some point you don't want to create a culture where they're not executing anything because you're not making it, super easy. But at least easy enough so that it checks the boxes that you're saying, like right boxes of consistency, customer satisfaction, great unit level economics, something that is trainable, that is scalable, right? But I think, if anything, is just always keep in mind that what you're doing needs to be able to get executed. And then if you are creating processes and systems, whether it's lack of systems or too many systems that are making it impossible for them to execute a recipe or run a shift, you're likely hurting, like the potential of your store.
And the other thing that I heard here was you use the word intersection. I love that word. I've used that word before, right? Like the intersection of where your guest is, like where they are physically, where they are mentally, what are they already looking for, what are they expecting, what's their behavior. I think too many times we try to either introduce a new behavior, train a new behavior, or we're just not meeting our guests where they are when they're there. Like, for example, I work with a lot of New York kind of pizza delivery restaurants and things, and I know you said like, oh, Fred and this and that. I believe in some target
Sure.
audiences. Like, yes, we create personas. Look, we know they're all not going to be real, but it helps us identify. But the biggest mistake is when I get on the phone with like a pizza operator, a lot of times they think their target persona is maybe a husband or a man, but most of the time we find out that target persona is a busy woman, a wife, mom, who's running the kids to school, to baseball practice, to soccer practice, to
Didn't
karate.
have time to dinner.
Right. They don't have time to make dinner. So what they're looking for is easy, fast. They don't necessarily need a menu of 337 items. What they need is I'm tired. It's cold. It's dark. I just picked up my kid from soccer. I'm running home. I need to be able to place this order and have it ready or have it delivered. It needs to be fast and it needs to be done right. Because if it's not fast, my kids are pissed, my husband's pissed, I'm pissed. If it's not done right, if they put peppers, mushrooms on a pizza and my kid hates mushrooms, now the whole family's having a bad night. So it's really getting down to the core. What does your customer really need? What do they want? And like you said, intersecting them where
So,
they already are.
yeah, and to clarify, I I love personas. I think
Yeah,
that
no,
they're
I know
useful.
you
I
did.
think,
I just
I think they're useful, but I think they become useless when they're not attached to the intention that you're talking
behavior.
about, right? So when I was talking about intersecting and meeting people where they are, is what's that mindset,
Yeah.
right? Knowing that Philip or Karen or
Right.
Francisco is 25 to 35 and lives in the suburbs or in the city and likes other brands like Abercrombie and Fitch and Nautica or whatever, that doesn't tell me anything. Knowing that Carlos is a stay-home dad and he has starting to, a business or something, and he's running the kids on baseball and this, and he doesn't have the time, and he's trying to look for convenience,
Right.
not having a fight with the kids and feeding them quickly. So
Right.
his mindset is convenience, speed, and easy to order. That allows me to create products or LTOs or menu offerings or digital experiences that will address that thing. And then I'm meeting him kind of where he is, right?
Right.
But then, and I think that's truly important. What I was saying, let's meet people where consumers are. Let's try to understand the need that we're trying to solve for them. And
Yeah.
there is
Hang
enough
on. Say
data
that
in the
again.
world.
What is the need we're trying to solve for them?
Yes.
Right. And I see a lot of operators, unfortunately, that are like, well, this is delicious. This needs to be on the menu because it's delicious. Well, is it solving their need or your need?
Mhm.
So, anyways, just for
Yeah,
them.
and I think and I think when you do that, then you get into really interesting conversations about uh, what are we for, right? Are
Right.
we solving for speed? Are we solving for throughput? Are we solving for prime? And yes, as a business, we're solving for all of those things. But if if there is opportunities out there that many consumers are looking for a certain product or a certain thing, right? Like, is crispy chicken uh, as a name, a way to is very authentic Middle Eastern. No, the product is, the name is not. But guess what? People are looking for Middle Eastern. So I'm not bastardizing the product or Middle Eastern heritage, the story of our brand, or ability to deliver the flavors that make us who we are and the recipes that are found there brought from the Middle East. None of that. But I'm just trying to make this available for so people that love incredible crispy chicken can find it, right? And
Right.
it's like if you don't intersect, I think that you're missing a huge opportunity.
But you're meeting your customer where they are. I would have to imagine that your ideal customer is not incredibly versed on authentic Middle Eastern food. They're familiar with it, they've had it, but they're probably not seeking out the most authentic experience. They're probably seeking out, like you said, a fast, delicious, valuable, influenced experience.
Well, we have some. I mean,
Of course.
we have many, but I think if I was only fishing in a pond where I wanted to get, super uh, foodable foodies that are specialists in Middle Eastern food, there's not enough of those customers to be
No, you're not going to sell
an open
brand.
hundreds of locations in America.
No, right.
You
So
know,
that intersection of, like you said, like crispy chicken, but paired with our delicious pita, paired with our delicious spicy hummus, like now we're creating a product that is where the customer is. They like Middle Eastern food, but they're just looking for something delicious.
And I'll give you an example of that. Some Middle Eastern food has the beauty that we just take regular ingredients and we combine spices and stuff. They become ordinary things that you find in your pantry become extraordinary. And then talking about meeting customers where they are, we got approached and we have this great partnership. One of our franchise partners is Loves. They have travel stops all around the
Mm-hmm.
country.
Mm-hmm.
So far, we have 3 locations with them. We opened those locations, non-trad kind of counter service inside their travel centers next to their convenience stores, right? Usually you'll find chicken
Yep.
brands and pizza brands and, whatever. They approached us. They had insights about, hey, you know what, between some of the demographics of their audience and some people were probably tired and trying to break the norm of like, I don't want another burger. I don't want another sandwich. I love burgers and sandwiches, but I just don't want
Right.
it every time that I stop in one of these centers. So we went in without, knowing really what was going to do. Uh, Kills it there, and there is
Awesome.
lines of truck drivers that will buy not one bowl but like five for the next 150 of their trip or whatever it is, because they want to break on their day. Some of those drivers love pitas, some of them love bowls or whatever, but they just wanted to see it. And then this morning I went to one of those travel centers and I was talking to one. I was like, what are you getting? And he was getting like 4 meals at 10:30 in the morning just to last him for the full day. And I'm like, what do you love about it? And I'm like, I can build whatever I want for different parts of the day. So he was getting a rice bowl for a heavy lunch. Then he was getting a pita kind of to mid afternoon as he was driving or stopping really quick. And then he was getting a salad for night, right? And he's like, trying to find that out through GPS and stuff across different states and different things. I could just come here, get it
Love
done,
it.
and then you
Love it.
guys
But he
already
just has
have
it.
it.
It's in his truck. He can just keep driving.
But in that sentence, he was describing 3 different mindsets, 3 different occasions, right? And then again, I wish that this was by design. It's a great partnership that is creating incredible results for our franchisee partners and for us and for the customer. But our product was able to address three different situations or three different needs that this specific person had. So like, yeah, for sure, try to do your best. So you're looking at your menu, at your offering, how you price it, and where do you promote it. Try to intersect what people are looking for, and that will give you. That's I wish it was a guaranteed success. It's not, but it gives you better chance of like hitting it.
Make It Happen is the book I wish I had when I was operating restaurants. Inside are the lessons that took me 10 years to learn and 10 more years of teaching to perfect. I've condensed the most important lessons into this tiny book for building a big restaurant business. I am on a mission to improve restaurants all over the world. Because of that, I want to send you a free copy. Grab yours today at therestaurantboss.com.